Welcome to Open Office Hours. Happy Thursday. For some of you, maybe even closer to Friday, which we love. Friday's the best. But we are going to smash some sites. We actually have a lot of really good sites. Everybody understood the assignment that they had to be a PM Pro powered membership site. So that's awesome. We didn't have to eliminate anybody for not having not using PM Pro.
Yeah. And I was looking through the sites briefly. Yeah. They are beautiful. They are like ticking all the boxes. So we're going to really be in like
it's going to be
little areas. Yeah, maybe I'll try to focus on one thing per site and talk about it, but they're beautiful sites. I hope they're successful, wildly successful for all of you. We don't have numbers of how these are performing, but I think when you see what we're showing you today, you're going to be like, oh, wow, like these are cool sites.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome. If you're here and you did submit a site, like Jim, I know that you did, let us know so we can definitely make sure that we touch on it. We do want to give priority to the people who are actively live with us. But yeah, Kev, there's a lot to get to. There's like probably like 10. So if you want to go ahead,
I was going to go in the order that you put them in the list for me. Does that sound fair? Should I start with? Okay, we'll do that.
That's the order as they were submitted, so we can do that. Okay. So I will go ahead and add your screen.
Perfect.
And
wait, there's one that I put out of order. I think this one goes.
Mid-Hudson, we did get your submission. I have it.
Yep. You're here. We are here for you.
Yep.
Cool. All right. So all in the spirit of helping the people whose sites these are, make subtle tweaks. These are all front-end walkthroughs. We're not logging in and enjoying your members' experience, which if your front end is as beautiful as these, I hope that it's transferred and probably has to the members' experience in your site. But I think one of the biggest things is getting people to sign up. So these Smash Your Site sessions, we did one before. Sam can show you, put a link into the previous one if you enjoy this one, and then have an hour later, I think it went over actually, an hour later to do the same thing and want to watch it back. But you're going to see a theme in what we're talking about here and what we're calling out on the front ends of these sites, all to help you get more conversions, more signups into your site. So often I hope these are like simple feedbacks. We'll have to get someone from the first group and see if they got any improvement, any bump in traffic, any bump in signups of their site. So we'll see if any of that's true. But this is a cool site. This is one we actually just did a case study on. I'm sure Sam will drop the link in. It's a site that teaches the German language through stories. So it's a new approach to language that isn't just Duolingo, like random, doesn't always make sense translations, but this is more storytelling. So designed, I think, to help you better learn the language through like real conversations and real stories. And testing comprehension, which you see here from this video. So just looking at the site, I'm going to put it through, I'll put it through a color contrast tester later, but for me, it's all visually easy to see. Orange is a very hard color to use on the web. It's probably the hardest color because it is bright and we look at it and we think like bright orange, that stands out. I love about this, they flipped the switch. They didn't use that orange for their call out buttons. They chose a blue color and they used black text on orange, which is often more accessible of a color to use on orange, but we would think white. We do it on our own PM Pro site. Shame on us. Maybe it's something we'll revisit now, but I love that there's a persistent sign up button here. If you guys have that area and you can edit it in your theme, that upper right section, we want sign up and login. If those aren't there, people are going to be confused. I mean, you use the web, you're building a website, but you also are a user of memberships in all different formats. Maybe you use Amazon, maybe you use Facebook, maybe you're a member of something similar to an association of some type. Just even looking at their sites, most of them you're going to see that sign up and login. And I also love that it's highlighted that the sign up button isn't just another link in this menu, it's a special link and it draws my eye in more closely to it. And you'll see if I scroll, it goes away so I'm able to see, but then when I scroll up, it comes back. So it is very persistent. And if we look, that sign up now, that same color is used for this button. there's something in the web, in web design, about creating this like triangulation of your logo, where people look, they're like, am I where I'm supposed to be? Did I land on the German Stories website? Like, where am I? That's a landmark. And then their eyes often will travel to this video, which is a really engaging. They're going to watch this video a little bit, and then their eye go back to that start for free button. It's really interesting, just that the way you can create that triangle and how useful that can be to guiding people through their experience on your website. So this does a great job of that. Logo, I'm drawn to the video, and then I'm like, okay, my next eye is start for free, that blue button, reminding me again with some great social proof underneath, or some safety here. There's this call out here, which is really cute. I read it and I thought to myself, what could make this stand out just a tiny bit more? Because it's very cute and it adds personality, and it makes me interested in the person behind the site. So I was wondering if you could maybe put like a signature looking thing, like your name, like handwritten scripty, maybe not, or maybe an avatar view if this is you. Maybe it's not. Maybe that's just a nice looking German person. But I do see some comic looking people. So maybe you can get a comic looking version of yourself as like an avatar to this, Kim Coleman, founder, Common German Stories, just kind of to anchor in that this is kind of a little personality, a little bit of like, who am I? What are you getting engaged with here? This membership site isn't like exclusively like because we love the founder, but some membership sites are, where I think that connection to the founder is stronger. But there's a reason you wanted to put this text there to tell your story. So, and that Harry Potter aspect, very cute. So think about maybe like a little cartoon avatar of yourself with a little signature and who you are. It creates a connection and a humanity to something that's going to feel transactional and digital, which I think your website is doing a lot of. I didn't close it yet, but we have a cookie consent banner. I'm located in Pennsylvania in the US. It's not required for me to give consent, but it seems like this site has decided to show their cookie banner everywhere. We were thinking about doing an open office hours all about the cookie consent banner, because we recently added one to our own website. So maybe we will do that if anyone's interested in learning about that more. We don't have many spaces left in the next quarter's events, but if you're struggling with cookie consent, unsure where you should put it, what plugins to use, how you want to really set it up, maybe we can do that. I'm not an expert on cookie consent. I don't want to be in a lawsuit if you get in trouble for the way that you've implemented consent, but I'm also not afraid to tackle hard subjects and just give you what I think is the best practice. I can tell you what we're doing, and if I get a knock on my door for a jury summon or a summons to appear in court, I'll let you all know. But in this case, it's a simple. It doesn't allow me to customize the cookies that I'm receiving. It's just an accept and close. I can't even close this cookie consent without accepting. So this is a version of cookie consent that's fairly not interactive. You've probably seen some extremely interactive cookie consents. I don't have any problems with this one. I'm going to accept and close it just because I'm curious what these buttons do. So I will touch on those later. It's possible there might be like a good opportunity for like a heading here, like, what we offer, or just some kind of like heading before we dive into, because I think these are like aspects and features of German Stories. So to reiterate that there, I love this why choose us, anchoring and social learning, so important. I saw a lot of social learning on all the sites that we're going to look at today. These are great. They have faces, they have real human names, and I love the little like heading that makes it easy for me as a person looking at this social proof to say like a snippet of it. It's not 3 paragraphs of rambling. It's, I like learning this way. And then the longer thing I can read, but I think those headlines in this social proof are pretty strong. And then also social proof, not just from humans, but from other publications. Maybe I would recognize these if I was a person, a polyglot, or someone who was exploring language more. Maybe these brands, they're not brands that I recognize, but maybe those are big brands, and the person made this website felt that they were going to be cool to do. So we get to the bottom, we have another start for free. Let me see. No sign up required, structured progress, no guesswork. Is that the same? Okay, so that's slightly different. The 3 value props here. One says step-by-step lessons. This one says structured progress. Maybe you're A/B testing. I would love to know that you were A/B testing that and curious which one was a better anchor. Where's this go? Looks like this takes me to a lesson. This also takes me to a lesson. So I didn't click on these yet, Sam. That's curious that start for free is like actually starting. It's not signing up. It's not capturing an email. It's take the first lesson. That's pretty powerful. And some people are afraid to give away that much value. I think it's the greatest test to say, like, you don't even have to sign up. Look at my content, use my content, give it a try. I think. Let's play. Let's see if we can actually play. Yep. It's actually starting. So what better way than to say, like, I don't want your email address. You're not going to have to do anything. It's just starting something. I feel like we could anchor that a little bit better here. Like, this button is actually not a sign up thing. I was scared to click it. I thought it would go right to a checkout page, but instead it was like, take a lesson right now.
Maybe I'm going to pause you for a second.
Oh.
Steve is saying he's not seeing anything.
If
other people are having issues, let us know in the chat pretty quick, and I can see what we can do.
I was on a roll.
I know you. I really, maybe it's just Steve's computer, and if that's the case, maybe leave the stream and come back. But okay, other people are reporting that it's fine. So okay,
man,
I'm sorry, Steve.
I'm so sorry. I hope it comes back for you. All right, where was I? Okay, we were buttons. All right, I'm going to click on these because I'm curious what these do. All right, I'm going to click on this one. Log in or start your free trial to view this page. Okay. I see some rankings. That's fun. Maybe these are more useful when I'm within. But it does show, it gives me a taste that there's some gamification in this. Where does this go? Now this one is taking me to like a comparison page with a 7-day free trial or 3 different plan options here. We have a money back guarantee, which is really important. You can, let's see if that's echoed on the checkout page. We have it both this like visual money back guarantee and then also this refund policy statement, which is great. More success stories. Maybe this one could use another repeat at the bottom. I don't know. I'm nitpicking here. This is a gorgeous site. I hope it's doing extremely well. So here I am with
because he has plans to do like French stories, Italian stories, and really like expand.
I love that.
Yeah.
We had another person who taught I think it was ongoing education credits for first responders, and they were going to do the same. They were like, this was so successful.
Yes.
I think it was just specifically EMS.
Yeah, it was. I know who you're talking about. That's another case.
Yeah. And then they were like, we're going to do like fire first responders. We're going to do CPD. Yeah. So now I'm getting into the free trial thing. I'm curious from the homepage how much I would have had to. When would this hit my paywall? I'm curious where that is. If you're watching and you want to chime in. Otherwise, maybe if you watch this later. All right, progress won't be saved. So I'm wondering if these are the same 6 lessons as the free trial, or if that's like a next level. It's really easing me in. Is that public and free? Is there another tier that's free here? This site is doing something. We have an article about trial memberships that can only be used once. So I hope that they've implemented that. This looks like a trial account that's going to expire in 7 days. No credit card required. So if you're doing things like this with a level, you want to make sure that you're using our code to not allow someone to then go back and be like, okay, I'm going to take another 7 days. Maybe they didn't complete lessons 1 through 6 in those 7 days. In this case, they're not getting full access to everything. I've seen people do it where the trial is a full access and then people re-up. And that's when they really feel upset that it allowed them to subscribe again. But in this case, it is just 6 lessons. So they can't re-up and really consume all that more in the project. So, and then they have plans that it's one, membership is everything. There's no tiers of membership really. We're free or we're paid. And the paid level has different payment options. In this case, they're not using our payment plans add-on. They're just using 3 different levels with 3 different pricing options, which is fine. Payment plans, maybe Sam wants to put a link to, would show a radio button at checkout with the 3 ways to pay. Sometimes people prefer doing it the individual levels way. It helps them in their admin separate who's paying me on what terms, just in case you were like, I want to incentivize my upfront paying people. And then you could do that if it's a separate level. Harder to do if it's the same level with just payment plan. So they're also using some kind of social login. Maybe this is our social login. Maybe it's custom developed. There's a lot here that looks quite like default paid memberships pro. They're using Stripe with our Add PayPal Express. And they're using the Stripe at the offsite hosted checkout experience. So great site. Login page. Sometimes on our login page, we put like an ad for registration. We have an article about that. This one's just having, but at least we see this join now here. So there's still a way to get into things. So yeah, great site. Some socials up here, linking to different things. So anyone questions about this site, something they want to address? Sam, you might tell me to make this left aligned. There are some accessibility benefits to not centering text. For some reason, it is a flag for accessibility to read text this way, and it is most often a flag when the text is very long. So in this case, the headline, maybe German stories, wouldn't be flagged, but this is maybe longer. I'll do a quick, we do have some contrast errors. So it doesn't think that this black is contrasting enough with these icons. These orange check marks are not passing accessibility, but they're purely decorative, so I wouldn't worry about that. What's this one? I don't think that must be something else. Is there like hidden white text that I can't see? Something must be flagging as text that isn't text. Linked in image missing alt text. Okay, so these social icons don't have alt text. So that's probably a very simple add. If I look at the code here, however these were added to the site, you would just add alt text, you know, or listen to our podcast, maybe something like that. For this one, visit our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, something like that, just to get rid of those image errors. Empty link. Sometimes it's hard with this thing to say, what's the link? Why are these? That's a contrast issue. Here, I'll hide these. I don't think that is a link, is it? No, that's the contrast error. I'm trying to get just the, oh, here. Empty link.
Ryan asked for the link for what you're using for the web accessibility, and I did share that. That is called Wave. It is a extension.
These.
It definitely is on Chrome, but it looks like from Google is saying Firefox and Edge also have that extension as well that you can add to your
empty link. It's a link.
Browser.
I think that's a false positive. These are not empty links that I can see here. Let me turn it off and look. I don't know. It's a cool tool. I think, you know, you don't have to fix everything. It's not, the goal is to have no red check marks. Like in this example, this is a purely decorative check mark. I don't think there's a need to make it compatible with color contrast. If you didn't have that check mark visible, if you were a person that didn't have enough color processing or were using a dim screen, the absence of that check mark would not be important. The absence of being able to visually see a button, that is important. And that's something you want to address.
It's very likely that the colors are not the issue, but the size of the check mark. But again, because it's decorative, you don't need to increase that size of that check mark. But that's probably why it's flagging, is just because it's smaller.
I'll add too, this video appears to have audio. It's default to audio off. You must do that. That is so important. You know, you don't want someone to be in a cafe or in a library and bring up your website and it's like, hi, welcome to German store. You know, that is so embarrassing. Like they will close your website as fast as they possibly can to avoid that. So if you have audio on autoplay videos, audio off.
Does it allow you to pause it?
No, it does not.
That is something for accessibility that I would definitely add in there. For someone like me, when I'm trying to read the hero and everything that you have. Oh, you did find a way to pause it. Okay.
Yeah, I had to right click.
Hard.
There's probably accessible controls for this.
Yeah.
Where's this video from? Let's look.
So I have a vestibular
Elemental.
issue where if I
Mhm.
see motion, I'm never going to be able to read and understand what is around that if I can't get that motion to stop. So just as an accessibility thing, it's always important that any kind of auto video or GIF or anything like that, there's a capability to stop that animation.
I took 20 minutes just on this site. All right, I gotta close it. Great site, really interesting concept. I'm so excited for French stories. English stories, if you need help, I'm here because that is the only language I am fluent and confident in teaching and writing stories in. But that's probably not as needed as all the other ones that you're tackling, which are super cool. Cool. This is a cool one because it's kind of a pre-release, which is really cool. I've been to this site a few times because I know that we've worked with this person and talked with this person in community. I think has attended our community live events, right, Sam?
Maybe.
Maybe not. Maybe it just
Oh,
feels so familiar.
yeah, Jim.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, I don't remember that
I had to look at the
being
name.
there, but it's exciting that that's there. Maybe you're not launched yet, but you have a website and you have it in like coming soon mode, maybe. That can make things hard to even be building your website for. So there's absolutely nothing wrong. This says it's launching in 21 days. How exciting. Just for me to see that when I come to the site, if I happen to get to this site, if they're doing some pre-release social or creating some buzz or doing things. So cool. At a certain point, it doesn't have to be behind a coming soon page. We can just put something like that up. So this also has consent. You'll see this one has a lot more interactivity. So it has the ability to opt out of certain things, to accept the consent, and then directly link to the privacy policy. I'm going to accept and close it. So it's not there. That's probably, I didn't look at which plugin or third-party drop-in was being used on our first site or this one, but maybe we'll do that event. We do again see that login and join right here. I don't know what a center stage is, but I'm going to click it. Okay. So I wonder what center stage is. And we have another of these coming soon, which is super cool. Maybe if center stage is members only, maybe it's in development. I don't want to talk about things too much on the site that the person who's watching might just be like, no, we're still working on that, because that's just going to be painful. But if center stage, maybe you can use our visibility of some kind to hide that to members only if it's something you only want members to see. But it could be anything. I love the pictures on here. It really tells the story, like speakers. It reinforces it. Human faces, diversity. Very cool. So what is Pro Speaker U? Career enrichment is kind of like right at the top, telling us what this website's about and what it's going to provide for you. And each of these, they're expanding out. Okay. That can be tricky for accessibility. I can try to keyboard navigate it here, but it's giving us all that information, who's it for, and then a little bit deeper. So if people are like, oh, okay, that makes sense to me. Some of these are not like super clear by what it is. Like who says isn't something that you would immediately be like, okay. Like if it said lessons on learning German, that's very clear. But in this case, people are going to have to interact a bit with it. So they'll be clicking through. I wonder if it might be a good idea to take some of these that are hidden, even if you have that short list, and like link them to anchors further down on this homepage or another deeper page in the site where they're kind of in that classic features grid. But I think this also is okay for now. Let's try to navigate it. I'm no mouse, just my hand here. I can use spacebar to expand each, and I can use the tab to tab within. It looks like once I'm within one, though, I can't tab to the next one. Let's see if I have used down. I'm not a person that uses keyboard navigation all that much, so this might be fully accessible and fully usable by someone who would understand what the correct pattern of clicking would be. So I'm not going to knock it, because once I've learned how, I can up and down, I can tab to leave this section, and I can use spacebar and then tab to get to links within the expanded panel. So not fully inaccessible, and probably fully accessible to someone that has more experience than this person using just the keyboard and no mouse to navigate. I would say this join today button, make it a button, make it stand out. It's a text link. It's not underlined. So it just, to me, could be colorful text. We have a lot of colorful text here. We have green text, pale blue text, red text. darker blue text, and then pink. So if you could just turn on underlines on your links is a great signal visually to people to say, these are interactive things on my site. Next level, making this a button right under here. Why not? We're not driving conversions down on the site because it's so early and they're probably still developing, but maybe that's a good thing to consider. I'll click through. We've got some like benefits, another kind of the same kind of, looks like the same, built with the same thing. Let's see what this is built with. Is this an Elementor? So this is using the Elementor page builder. Great compatibility in Paid Memberships Pro for Elementor. And is it coming in 3.5, Sam, or is it already out, the like better compatibility with Elementor?
I think it's coming in 3.5.
Are we allowed to talk about it?
I don't know. David's not here.
Yeah. So with our current Elementor compatibility, we support protecting things in Elementor by membership level. We're going to expand that to operate more like our content visibility, where you can target all members logged in. Well, logged in is an Elementor thing. All members, non-members, as a hide or show option. So right now the Elementor is hide from levels 1, 2, 3. Okay, got it. You add a membership level later, you have to go edit all of those parts of Elementor. Now you'll be able to say hide from all members to put more like call to action, sign up, advertising content to non-members, and then show only to all members would not, then you don't have to go back in. If you add a membership level later, you won't have to go back in and fix all of those places in Elementor. So cool stuff. It doesn't have backwards compatibility, so we're working on a migration. When you load the page in Elementor, it's going to repair the way that current things are protected, and then you can start using those features. So that'll be really fun. Here we have like a comparison of plans. I think you could expand the width of this because they are wrapping, and if we could get this a little wider, it probably would just make more impact. Let me see if I can even hack it. Let's try. Sam and I do this regularly.
Me too.
We're not actually editing someone. I wonder if someone would ever be like, hey, don't change my website. We're not actually changing. We're just doing the.
It literally only changes for Kim's screen. And that's how sometimes we do like screenshots and stuff to kind of clean them up. We take things away or add things to it.
You know what? I could probably go further out. Okay, here. Let's just do it here. No? I want this to get bigger. Hold on. Let's find it. Column gap. Here. No. Hold on, guys. Close your eyes while I figure this out. Okay. So even that doesn't feel too wide for me. I'm on a fairly small, I think, is this a 14-inch MacBook? Then all of the comparable things line up a lot more nicely. So that might be a fun expansion to do. I love the best deal highlight on one of the levels. This is like tiers. The previous site was in or out, free trial or paid member with choosing how you pay for it. This one is tiers of membership and increasing what you do. So, and they're discounting their initial launch, which is super cool. We haven't gotten to look at one like this before, which I just love. So think about that introductory pricing. You don't know yet. What are people willing to pay me for this? Maybe you've done pricing research. You know, at some point, you're going to have a lot more information to know what's the real value of my membership. What are people, what is the market willing to pay? What is the demand for this? So with membership sites, luckily, like you have unlimited supply in most cases. There's not often a limiting factor of supply unless you're doing some individualized things, but like online learning, they can have any number of members. There's really no supply issue. So getting the pricing right, what are people perceiving as the value? Introductory pricing says it gives you that freedom to say, I'm going to probably change this later. And I never promised that it would always be this inexpensive. I only promised that charter members joining during our initial period could pay this amount for this period, for an unknown period of time, because they're not saying when charter ends, but it is a safe way to not create like friction. And people say, like, I was on your site a year ago and it was only $21 a month. Why is it more now? It's like, that was our charter introductory pricing. We have people do that at Paid Memberships Pro. 5 years ago, your price was $197. Yeah. And now we've done experiments, circled in closer of what is our value, added value to the product, added value to the service surrounding it. And the price is changing, and there's inflation. There's all these impacts. So give yourself the freedom to play with price. And this is a great way to do it. So good. There's no like copyright or footer thing here. I don't know. What's this? Oh, that's my consent thing. So I don't know. It's usually found on websites, some kind of footer, some kind of, we don't necessarily want like a ton of links in the footers of our sites, especially on these conversion focused pages, like our membership pricing page, like our checkout page, but some reminder of where we are might be useful. And then we'll just get to their checkout page quickly. They have like a recap of our membership information and the price. And this is probably also using our Stripe hosted checkout. So very simple form. They're capturing name, and they're having the confirm email and confirm password fields. So great site. I wish you guys so much luck with the launch of this. I know that it's been a long time in development, or at least you feel like you've been in our community for a long time and building this. So super exciting. We have to have you come on and teach us how to be better speakers, because I probably need some speaker training, and it would be great. I know a lot of our members at Paid Memberships, people building with Paid Memberships Pro, are doing streaming content, doing private courses. So I'm sure there's so much that tips you would give us just for even not being a professional speaker, but having to deliver speeches, having to deliver webinar type content like this. Masterclass, we're trying to call it. Yeah. Anything?
That'd be a fun open office hours.
Yeah. I'll look quick at the contrast. What is it upside? Okay. These are in development too. Once you get these testimonials, just this is being flagged as a low contrast on the site, but they're just placeholders right now. Redundant link. They're all interesting. Oh, there's no H1 on the site. I can talk about that briefly. We have a whole post about accessibility. You might see in Elementor or in the WordPress block editor, when you're building your site, you can create something that's called a heading. And there's heading 1, heading 2, heading 3. And in accessibility, the rule of thumb is 1 H1 per page, 1 heading at the H1 level, and never skip levels. So we wouldn't have an H1 and the very next is an H3, a heading level 3. We would have H1, H2, then you can have H3s within, and the next one can be an H2. That's fine. They just don't want you to skip levels because it creates confusion with the keyboard navigation and all the landmarks on the page that people are expecting when they're navigating your site. So what I do when I develop sites, the homepage logo on the homepage is my H1, because that's like the title of the homepage. Often it wouldn't be like you don't usually have the word home on your site on the homepage. Just you more often have like a tagline or some kind of interesting headline. So on my homepage, I make it the H1, and on interior pages, the H1 is the first heading of the page. So in this case, I would like this to be login on this site. This doesn't have to be use a heading element. So your login page, maybe you want your H1 to be login, because it's the first thing that the keyboard navigation is going to jump people to. So I think maybe we talked about that in our accessibility post, but now
I
we can
did
make
just drop the link to that post too. That way people can reference it.
Okay. Oh, we also need this person to come on and help us. We're all writing things. So we're going to become better speakers, and we're going to become better writers. Even with AI in the world, we still need to become clear writers. Cool. Okay. I actually did not look at this one much. So now I feel like I'm not ready to do this. All right. I'm looking at these like categories of testimonial. Go ahead. Are they
Jim
here?
just said, okay, so Simon from Clear Writing is here, but Jim just said, if your income is affected by speaking skills, you are a professional speaker. Clearly. we might need to adjust my income off of that sentence.
No, I did not hire you. You've become a great speaker, but I don't think originally when we hired you over 3 years ago,
it was the last sentence I just said.
I think the first few times we got you on live streams, you were like,
yeah, I was really quiet.
Must I be here? Yeah, not anymore. I love it. Cool. All right. So this is a site all about writing more clearly. And it seems like it's focused on maybe academics, so students, college students, high school students, professors writing papers, people in business like us who have to do writing as part of our job, and then in the government. And we get a seal of approval. That's really cool.
Yeah, I like that. I want to add that seal to my LinkedIn.
Style Writer approved clarity standard. Is the Style Writer approved clarity standard? If they're here, is that something I should know is like an industry standard? Because I don't know. I don't know that as an industry standard, but very cool. And then you get like a membership logo of being in the Clear Writing Club and benefits. So this is text heavy website, but it's a website about writing, which is totally cool. They have some buttons here. Next, I don't know what next would do, but in this case, all these buttons are the same in appearance to me. I think that they're actually images rather than text. Is that true? Yeah, these are images. So maybe in your page builder, there's a way to make buttons be just links with background colors and plain text. Maybe there isn't. Think about which of these is your most important button, and let's make only that one stand out in that way. It's hard to be discerning and say, like, this is the one thing I want people to do, but it's something that we always have to remind ourselves when we're building our homepages, especially. There's this Jason-ism, homepages should do one thing. So I would suggest for a non-logged in person, homepage should convert to sign up. That's the biggest thing. So we have a way to join up here, it looks like, and then at the bottom of the page, we have these secondary buttons. So just think about which is the most ideal next step for people. It looks like join, and I'm not sure what find your level. Let's do this. Is this a test?
And by the way, Style Writer is the software that helps users and writers.
Oh, nice. Okay. So it's, oh, here's Style Writer approved. Okay. It's never a tool that I've used, but very cool. So find your membership takes us to a page that when you join, you can display your logo and clear understairs. Okay. And then you can join. So it's re-echoing that. What is the difference between, let me look at this page called membership and this page called join? There's a global option.
So it looks like that page that you're viewing right now could have been built with either our advanced levels add-on page or their own way of building it, whether they use that or not. And then the other page that you were on looks like our standard out of the box levels page. Yeah. So they really need to narrow down to one.
Yeah. Think about if you need both. It is PM for levels table. Okay. Think about if these two pages could be combined. I just don't want you having to maintain this in two places. And to me, I'm not confused. They both are clear pages with an explanation of what each is. But my guess would be that the membership page is going to convert better because it expands on the benefits of each one. So you could just, if you can make this change, there are some subtle differences. This page, for some reason, this page wants to load slowly. I'm not sure why. Because this is our global options. It looks like maybe it's detecting my IP address and detecting that is anyone located in the EU and could visit this membership page and see if it shows them different levels. That might be really clever. Curious how you're doing that. That could be the difference, but think about if these pages could be combined or, take people to one or the other with some A/B testing things, just reducing what's in. I think join is a strong link for the word membership. To me would be like explaining membership. Maybe that's what this is doing. And join to me is like I'm one step closer to a checkout page. So we talked about having a login link. I don't see one here. Let's see. Do I have one in the footer? Join. Maybe you're still starting out, but I think people are going to need a way to log in. Let's see if it's on this page. Yeah, so giving those, if this is the same site that they still log into, they need a way to get into the portal and start accessing the benefits of their membership. So let's maybe get a login link added to this. And if possible, could we maybe move it over here where we're really looking to expect that login link would be good. Testimonials and case studies. when I saw these circles, I thought that they were like a form element, like a radio element. I don't know if anyone else got that. I thought that I was taking like a little, not a quiz, but just getting asked something. So I don't know, but they're interactive and I like that they move. And then I can
So
get right. Oh, go ahead.
just to address a couple comments that are in the chat right now, we are here to build people up and to teach them how to improve their membership site. So while there are improvements to this site that can be made, there are improvements to every site that can be made, including the Pagerships Pro site. We're not perfect.
I dinged us, didn't I?
So, we are here to help people learn about what they can do on their site and see what other people's sites are doing. It is a learning experience.
Yeah. I mean, if we go to, I don't think anyone would say Wikipedia is a good UX.
I hate
Craigslist. Nobody would say that, right?
No.
But I
eBay?
think I tweeted eBay, terrible, right? So ugly websites. And I know I'm not calling this website ugly, but it's something I posted on X before I left the platform that are successful websites. And we have no idea how successful this project is. It might not seem successful. It might be extremely successful. We have no idea. It's all about product market fit and the value you're delivering and the perceived value that your members are having. So I think a lot of people stay in the like, it has to look great. It has to function great. It has to be perfect. And that holds them down from launching, right? It's like the site we just looked at, Pro Speakers, it was like, I'm not ready. I have placeholder content on my site, but I'm launching in 21 days. And as much as that communicates to the people visiting the site to get excited, it also tells them things are not quite baked here. We're still cooking. We're still adding ingredients. And it also probably gives the people building the site a kick in the butt to say, I have 21 days. And Jim, if it says 21 days from now, that's fine too. I don't care. Yeah. This is the first one where I felt the checkout page was like maybe a little too wide. So let's think if your website has a template with a narrower width, it's just like overwhelming to view. And I think people would have like a little bit more calm experience navigating through the website. They're using some of our user fields. This is, I think, the first one that we found with some user field information, the name of the organization, the number of employees that they have, and kind of a referral source, not required. Oh, I just kicked my camera. I'm sorry, guys. I reached my foot out. And they're also using our VAT add-on here, and they have terms. So they're using PayPal for their checkout. Yeah. That's good. I think make this a little narrower. Give me a really prominent join sign up link. I think the right people in the right place know the value of having this approved seal on their site, and the people created the site know that there's value in that. To me, I don't know that there's value, so I'm just pretending to be a person that would happen upon this site and be deeply interested in it. So I would have to do a little more poking around, but there's a reason someone came across this site. They were like, as a resume builder, as something that my employer needs from me, as something that I believe will help me land more freelance work or a new job. Maybe I can put it in my LinkedIn. The fact that I am a member of this club would be a great place to put it. So I love all that stuff. It's also not like a busy color scheme. Sometimes people add a lot of color to their sites. This is a nice, almost monochromatic color scheme, which is great. I don't think we're gonna have any contrast errors. So yeah, interestingly enough, this has the fewest accessibility errors of all the sites because it's been kept simple. They don't have as much work that they're going to need to do. We have a linked image missing an alternate alt text. So is it this next button? We didn't even click that. So the only accessibility error that this site has present is one image on the site is missing alt text, which I already thought if these could be converted to just regular text HTML that's a button and not be an image, then you're going to have, it's going to be easier to maintain going forward if you decide to change the label of this text, but just throw a little alt text in there. It's good.
I'll also add that a lot of times we see people who are starting membership sites get so hung up prior to launch that everything has to be perfect. And seeing Jim's site previously and then also seeing this site of like they actually just had the gut to go ahead and launch the MVP. And that is that's like probably one of the hardest hurdles that you could get over. is just
Yeah.
get your MVP out there, your minimal viable product, and then build and grow.
I had someone in an email that was I could just tell they were getting in their own way. I hope they're not watching and I hope they don't know that they're being talked about here. But I mean it in all the best and all deeply from love. But I could tell that they were in their own way about, and it was like, I've been building my course site for 9 years or something like that. I was like, that's a lot of time to spend and not be sure that anyone cares about it, right? But there's no right answer to that. There's no right answer to how long should it take. People might ask that. How long does it take to get my website launched with Paid Memberships Pro? I don't know. Are you building the Clear Writing Club? Or our next one, this is really intense. It's not just Paid Memberships Pro. It's like a full back end of communicating and locating and broadcasting specialty deals on flights in real time. So that has a lot more necessary technically. So you're going to see this site's pretty gorgeous. It's going to check most of the boxes for what best practices we would say are for the web. I think it's going to be accessible. To me, it looks really close. I don't know if it's going to ding the blue. We're going to see. But should we move on?
Yeah.
Anything else about? No. Okay, cool.
No,
yeah, all
ahead.
of these. Okay, so this is a person in our community. I've never been to the website. I thought that it was exclusively available to Canadian market. Now I know that it's for everyone. So I'm like, maybe we need to join this. But you just, without me even scrolling on my small screen, I know how to log in. It doesn't say login. Maybe it could say login, but that's okay. It's probably clicking on that human in the upper right. Take me to my account, which is going to redirect me to the login page, right? Yeah. And I know how to join. It's very eye-catching. And yellow, like orange, hard color to use. We would, in this case, using black text on yellow is the perfect thing. I think if this gets an accessibility ding, it's just going to be maybe the weight of the font that they'll want us to do. I don't know. But super clear headline, tagline underneath it, exactly what it's, what you get. So you don't pay full price. That's like the why join. And then it's like, how's this work? We publish flights. We alert you. So US and Canada. Start free trial. Join the club. Jason has a thing about CTA buttons on the homepage text being the same everywhere. I don't have that worry. I don't know if anyone sees these two different buttons and says, like, do you doubt that they go to the same place? I don't. I'm pretty sure they're going to go to the same place. And then we have some kind of reinforcement here of like, if I join, is something bad going to happen to me? No, it's a trial, and it's not a partial trial. It's full access. So I'm not thinking I'm getting like a metered version of this product, and I can cancel anytime I'm not locked in. I don't have to wait to cancel it like an hour prior to 7 days or something strange. And what better proof than how many other human beings on this planet have been excited to be a part of this. So I love all of this. I love the plane. I love the clouds, all of it. And then some destinations here, something to break it up. So it's not just a ton of text, but recognizable places where you can take trips and people regularly want to in their life. These are like bucket list kind of places for people to visit.
And incredible
can we name them all? Somewhere in Greece, somewhere in California.
Hollywood.
Is this Mount Fuji? I don't know this one, but I would go there. Paris? Yeah.
That must be Rome.
Colosseum. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I only know that now. I know that from a lot, but my son had the Colosseum Lego, and it was the most gigantic Lego project we've in our lives. And now it's all broke apart in tiny pieces. But yeah. What's cool too, like not every site has these striped sections, but it is very common in the web. I can see the entire strip of content in one scroll. So it's not always the case. It's not always possible. But when, especially on the homepage, if you're doing this kind of like stripes of sections of things, like main CTA, who are we, what are we, how does it work? This is all contained in one place. I don't have to scroll. And then I re-echo my start free trial. And it's very obvious how this looks and how this will function. Tell us what you've done in the past. This is great because it's showing us that these are actual things that have happened. I trust that this is honest. If I click on one of them, I think it takes me to the pricing page. So they are actually linked to actual deals. So maybe if I was logged in, these would take me to the deal. I'm not sure, but there's a ton of them. I can't advance this any faster by scrolling left or right, but I can jump around if I choose to. I don't know what Skyscanner is. Maybe that's something people who travel a lot know what that is and like it. When logos are mentioned, I have to believe that there's a purpose. So in the Clear Writing Club, they recommended Style Writer. If I was on the Clear Writing Club, I would know what Style Writer is. Here I am on this website about Triips. Maybe I don't know what Skyscanner is. Maybe I do. But it showing that they're an official partner, it gives them like gravitas that I think someone would trust. It's not something that I use. So
You just don't travel enough.
no, I don't. I
We
just
gotta
go to
get
my
you
house
booked
in
more
Maryland.
trips.
Yeah, St. Augustine.
Okay, listen, we're gonna do that one day, okay? The universe has not been in our favor for the last 2
No.
times, but we're gonna do it one day, I promise.
And these graphics, like when I see websites with graphics like this, I'm like, these are so hard to make. But they're probably not that hard to make. Tools like Canva are great tools to help you create beautiful graphics for your site. Lots of templates in place to help you do it. So it's just like a lovely graphic, and it's a theme throughout this site. The softness of these graphics, the shadows used, the border radius, there's a lot of consistency. Designers like me and Sam notice those things. I'm sure some users do, and some users don't notice them, but they would feel jarred if there was this soft, subtle, shadowed Web 2.0, Web 3.0, whatever we call that nowadays, and then you switch to something that was like totally a different look. It had square edges, it had dark contrast colors. Like there's good consistency in the images used on this site. So we're still going through like what are the features of this site, and then here's some great social proof in video format. And then again, a way to remind the people how many people have done it, and that same button, start the trial. And this stands out pretty well. Take a look here when I hover my, this is such a nitpick. My, the text in the button went centered. So maybe that's just a hover thing and getting that to be left aligned. And it has a good fact. Let's see if we can interact with this FAQ. I can tab into one. I can tab into the next one, and I hit enter. That was I think we were using space bar on the other one. Was that right? So
yeah, you were using space tabbing down on the other one.
If I push space on this one, I scroll, which is more what spacebar usually does on a website. Scrolls me down a little bit. In this case, maybe it's more accessible that it's an interact by hitting enter, and then clicking links is enter also. So I'm going back here. Just some socials in the footer and some simple menu links. So this site does not have a menu. It does not have a ton of navigation in a logged out view. We're not in the logged in experience. I'm sure with all the features of this site, there's a lot more, because there's got to be searching trips, managing what you're subscribed to, searching trips and filtering them if they're member submitted or submitted, maybe just generated through the site, and all that kind of stuff. So I was talking with Sam beforehand. I was like, what are we going to even say about this site? How are we going to even give them any value from this? And I think the one thing we thought was maybe some kind of like, if someone gets through all of this, maybe an exit intent pop over, like still not sure, like get our first travel guide, or pick from these 3 cities and we'll send you the travel guide for free. I was just thinking, what could I give you a value that might help you boost conversions a little bit? And someone once told me on our site, Paid Merchants Pro, the product is completely free. You sign up for free and you get the product. And someone said to me, that might be too much than someone's willing to do. And I was like, but it's free. And they were like, yeah, but what if they don't even know they want the platform yet? What if they don't even know they're building a membership site yet? Like, what else can you offer? You know that they're interested in this topic. So is there something else that's like a lower risk, that it's a give me your email address, I give you a thing? Maybe it's just like a mailing list sign up. You have like a version of the mailing list that's like you get the deals 8 days later than our insiders or something. I don't know what that would be. Maybe you thought of it. Maybe you've tried it and maybe it was a bust. But just probably good for anyone to hear. Even free might be too big of an ask, which is crazy. to think
Yeah.
of.
Can you
I
see
love
if you inspect the code, how they did the annual monthly? I did, post a link for our tutorial that we did in Open
so
Office Hours
Element Kit.
4 months ago.
So it's an Elementor advanced widget called
Okay.
Elements Kit, and it has this kind of toggle. Oh yeah, for our annual versus monthly. And maybe that's a good opportunity to say what you're saving. What is someone saying something?
I posted the YouTube link for the Open Office Hours that we did, and Ryan said, "Thanks, Sam." Scrolling through that, I remember watching it live. I just forgot about it.
Yeah, right? Too much, too many streams. We did do that. We didn't write it up yet, though. This is a great guarantee and a great way to tell people what it really costs. So for less than the continue for the price of a small Starbucks macchiato, which is true. How painful is that? But it's true what people are willing to pay for. And then when they look at something and they're like, oh, like that's $100. I would never pay that. And then they'll go out to dinner and spend $100 on dinner. And you're just like, what? You know, that's really challenging. Even for Pay Merchants Pro, like our Plus membership is less than $1 a day for the first year. And I'm like, could you find $1 a day? Like people who feel that that's like a large amount of money, I'm like, that's less than $1 a day. Like, and that is a lot. I know that there's like a lot of people in the world that live on less than $1 a day. So I say that as a person aware of that, but also if you can anchor the price of what they're paying, the benefit that they'll receive to something in their real life, then it becomes a little more like, oh yeah, that's right. Like I did just go to Starbucks yesterday. And get some thinking. So anything to like trigger that thought process. But I imagine at this price and with the guarantee of $500 savings in the year, I wonder how many people take them up on that. I'd be really curious and how they prove it, right? Those are the questions people would ask before they went to do something like that. And in reality, maybe nobody's doing it and maybe a small handful of people, they didn't like have to write a big system to automate the refund and gather the proof that they actually didn't save. They were just like, it's probably something they just very rarely have to handle, I hope. But we'll see. But it's echoed here, full refund. They have a cool little like interactive piece, how much you'll save. So it's very simple. It's not complex math. I bet someone was like, is this even interesting? But it's just like, it adds to the professionalism of this site. It makes it feel more legitimate. Any of the things you can do to make it feel that way and feel like this is a real business. This is trusted. This looks like other businesses I've heard about and websites that I've used on the website. They're like borrowing the authority through design, I would say. Super cool. And then a big wall of proof, right? More, start the free trial. You're going to be adding buttons to your site. You're going to say, this is too many. I've added too many. And then you're going to add one more button after you do that. And I think
I
these
actually
are
just
just
got it
echoed.
done adding more buttons to our site too.
You're adding more buttons, more
Mhm.
buttons, more buttons. So yeah, was there something specific we didn't look at? We didn't look at, contrast. It doesn't like the blue. That's probably close. I'm going to say it's super close. I wonder if I can, it doesn't like the blue on the white. I thought it would pass. I bet it's just like a hair off. And what standard are we using? The minimums. Okay. I'll bet it's really close. I don't think you want to go through and redesign your whole website. I mean, we did adjust our colors. We made our green a darker green and our blue a darker blue because we had gone through and did we were on an accessibility journey, which is what our post talks about. The second anyone starts thinking or talking about accessibility, it can make you feel nervous. Like, oh shoot, like now that I'm trying and I'm not 100% accessible, which is never, ever possible because there's way too many people in the world with way too many unique qualities and how they comfortably browse and use the internet. So I loved when Bet on our event called it a journey. I have so many sites to get through still and it's at 12 o'clock. Is this going to be a 2-hour stream?
It might be. That's okay.
So yeah. I just thought some kind of exit intent, some kind of like something to keep them in your ecosystem slightly, and then you can follow up with them later. But I know the people behind this site do everything really well. Great intention. Have a lot of cool stuff wired up under the hood. So it's perhaps been tried before. But you see, yeah, cool site. Okay, moving on. Questions? Are we going for it?
Go for it.
Okay, so this one again has a cookie consent. I need to accept the cookies and I need to turn on Google Translate so that we can use this site. I wonder if this headline's going to get shorter. It's just extremely large. And you don't often see text this large, but I don't like completely dislike it. It's fine. All right, let's go. Oh, it's Norwegian. Cool. English. Ah, tired of hiking alone? Yes.
Of course. That's why I hike with my dog.
What a great headline, right? It's not just like a hiking community, a community of hikers. It's like a pain point. Like, yeah, I am tired of hiking alone. Too bad they don't have this in the US for us. This is one that could translate, right? Make it or transfer. We have our Norwegian version and then we have other, maybe it is international.
The hashtag is interesting because in the US, we actually do have mountain time. Like that's
Oh, that's right.
Mountain time is the time zone for us.
I bet everyone in mountain time likes hiking. No. So they're calling their CTA Get Started. And look, if you inspect this is maybe the first one too. They have UTM tracking on the CTA button on their homepage. So let's look and talk briefly about that. So if you're using Google Analytics, you can use their, I don't even know what UTM stands for. Unique. I bet it's unique something. Somebody knows, right?
I'm going to look it up.
But it's a way to not just get analytics about pages viewed on your site.
Module.
Oh, Urchin?
Urchin tracking.
It's not unique. Okay, Urchin, I would not have been on my bingo card as a possible word. So it's a way to not just track visits to different pages on your site, but who's interacting with what portion of your site and getting to what landing page. So when I click this, I'm guessing I go to like a pricing page. Yeah. So now in their Google Analytics, they're able to see, and I don't know that they want this because it says UTM medium social. Maybe this was, and it's from a modal one. So maybe that's an oops, maybe not. But these parameters now are going to feed into whatever that campaign is for and show up in their analytics to say, we use them on the Paid Merchants Pro site in our, oh, that's not what I meant to do. In our footer, I have UTM tracking on these links. So if people land on use case landing pages on our site, I can track that they use the footer link to get there. So it's just an interesting additional piece to see not only what pages are people viewing, but how are they navigating your site when they get to those pages. So this is become a member. This is get started. I'm going to guess this goes to the same page. This also has UTM tracking on it. Also social. Well, it probably was intentional. I'm not going to say it wasn't intentional. And then that login link. This hamburger menu has some links. Also very large text here. And I don't know how to close this. Am I like zoomed in? Actual size? No. Oh, I went back to that site. Okay. How do I close this? I hit escape. That closed it. Maybe check this out if you're watching or you watch it on replay. Give us an X. Give us a close. Something to get us out of that. And then just consider if the font size here is necessary. Even this is just, it might just be a little more visually pleasing to get a little more smiling faces visible to us if that were smaller, but really cool. Find out more.
I like the photos in the background. That's nice.
Yeah. And this, you see here, this can be hard. It's like a light background. They put some drop shadow on this text. I don't know if it's going to be fully accessible, but it's visibly, to me, I'm able to read it. And they have some social proof with the people's names. If I could get these headshots on here as little circle faces, I'd love to see it, but not necessary. Oh, and it has an app as a companion. So curious if you're here, how the app is connected to the membership and how you have those two working, but that would be really cool. A little contact form in the bottom. Your membership benefits. And just this is like that classic membership features, different sections that you can read into and look. So some Oh, there's tons of member benefits. Okay, so each county has unique benefits. So we're not just finding friends, but we're also getting discounts for being members. It's amazing you've curated this number of
I wonder if
relationships.
this is a multi-site.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see.
Like each county has their own site.
Oh, possible. This is like a great directory. We have a directory add-on. This is not that. We're not a directory of things. We're a directory of people. So this is like a directory of things, and it looks like it has some like sorting capabilities to it. This might just all be like hand built, like sub pages and pages. And then it says what the discount is. Oh, I do dream of seeing the Northern Lights. I was in Iceland and I did not see the Northern Lights. So just like I'm not going to click through all these, but I think if someone landed here, they would be like, this is an overwhelming number of benefits. There must be something here useful that I would use or need, in addition to making friends to hike with, right? I guess when I get to the bottom of this page, I don't have any footer either. And that's interesting that this one didn't end up with a footer too, but I would expect it to be consistent and match what's on the homepage. Just because if I already saw this once, it's something that I use as a landmark to get to different places on the site. So just think about whether that needs to be, I want to know what mountain time is. All right, let's get to the join the community thing. So we did get on this site once before. Their pricing page takes away like the header. So we no longer have our logo, which I could put a logo up here just to remind me once more I'm still where I belong. I'm still where I was. We've established so much trust on that website that they browse through. So this is not like completely different, but it doesn't carry the complete frame of the site. It is something we recommend. We don't tell you to make this like huge navigation on your checkout page or your pricing page. You want people to come down the funnel a little bit and lose options to abort and leave. You know, you want them to keep going, keep guiding them through the site. So this might be a translation funny thing. Choose predictability. It's probably something that makes a lot more sense in Norwegian than in English, but I get what you're trying to say here. You're trying to say like, you know, you're not paying this every month. You just have this predictable, flat, lower cost per year. They're showing the strike-through pricing. So they're saying this is the benefit of the annual. This is level 3. This is level 2. So different levels. Again, here we had that one with payment plans. This one is instead 2 separate levels, which we said. And I would maybe put here. This one has like a text on a dark background that you may want to adjust here. Just I have read and accept on there. And they're using user fields to capture a phone number. When I capture phone, we started capturing phone number on our site actually. And I just added something underneath what the phone number would be used for, especially in the required field. Any fields that are required, if someone's like, what are you going to do with my phone number? Like they're like, I understand you need my email address. I understand I need a password and a username to access this site. But asking me for a phone number is like, are you going to send me text? Are you going to call me? What are we doing here? So if you use the description of the field in user fields, just add a little description like we will use your phone number to send you a text message for how to download our app or whatever it's going to be used for. It just might give people a little bit more comfort to give that out because I don't give my phone number out to anyone unless I have to, right? If a form has a phone number field, I'm often leaving it blank. If it's optional, if it's required, I just want to know what I'm signing up for with my phone number being given. So I don't know if that's something you all feel too. Be great if this continue button could be a more standout color on this site. Maybe white, I don't know, do white with blue text. Maybe green, maybe something else. Maybe this light blue or something, just so it doesn't blend in so much. But yeah, cool site. Questions about this site? Things I didn't cover?
No.
Okay, cool. We're on Robert's site.
Robert is also a longtime community member, YouTube viewer, PM Pro member. So we've seen this site grow, be built and grown too. So.
Cool. So I'll say what we always say, which is like, I love that this is a bright standout color. It's the only bright standout thing on this website. This website's green, black, and white. And I I know that there's this bright orange button and it's the action they want me to take and it stands out. Our login and join buttons are where they belong. I don't think it would be bad if this join button was also orange. Just connecting the dots between the two here. Visually, you would be like looking at this header and then you would be like, boom, right to that join button or that triangle we talked about before. In this case, rather than it being an image, it's our logo connecting us right to the button, the action we want people to take. This might be slightly inaccessible. We'll test it at the end. But I think it's a clear value of what the site is delivering and who it's focused on. I understand that it's about homes and residences. I understand that it supports families. I love that. So then we have like an about us with a fun photo that looks like actual members and people that are in the community. So it's not the people who founded the website. It's real people. It's other people that you're going to be a part of. I know this is associations are community driven. So as much as you might find the topic of the association useful and interesting, you're also saying like, am I like these people? You know, do I want to show up and go to this with these people? I might have to interact with them in person. Do they look like my kind of people? Like, are they like 40-something moms interested in hiking, or are they like 20-year-old buff college students hiking? And I'd feel like I don't belong here, you know? So I think associations have to establish that. Like we all have a common interest and we feel like common people. We would like to hang out for a couple hours at a conference together. We don't have to be besties. We don't have to go to the movies or anything, but you know, will we be able to associate with one another? So learning more, cool benefits outline here, exactly what you get. Let's toss a join button here if we can. Just keep re-echoing them because here we have like a learn more, which is getting us further down the experience of learning about this association. And I'm sure that's the major goal is signups for the association. Some associations have lots of goals, right? The mission of the association has a goal, and there's a lot of information that associations have to communicate to the world about what they're doing, why they're here. They have free events for people. They're serving communities. So it's hard with an association to make it driven for member signups and then also fulfill the needs of your mission and what you're trying to do to communicate things to the world. This probably isn't just sent to potential signups. It's also probably being sent to like local government offices to say like, we can support your efforts to have better landlord policy and things like that. So there's a lot of hybrid needs. So associations are really unique, but I think we do them pretty well when we work with people. There's a newsletter sign up that popped up. I'm just going to dismiss it, but that's that like, even if they had a free level, I don't know if they offer a free level, but it's that like something less than signing up. Newsletter is like a step closer. I'd say like a lead magnet is probably like the least commitment. When we talked about that earlier, newsletter is a little closer. It's like, I don't want to just hear from you once. I want to hear from you on a regular basis. And then membership being like the more deeper commit. It looks like this learn more button goes to a join page. So maybe you're A/B testing learn more versus join now. But if I was seeing this, I would say, oh, I don't want to learn more. I'm ready to join. And then I'd go up here. But in reality, they're going to the same place. So if this was a learn more, really, I would expect to get deeper into features, purpose and mission of association, benefits of membership. But this to me, learn more is really meant to be sign up. Oh, there's a tax deduction. I wonder where that is that explained? That's the only place I see mention of a tax deduction. Is that maybe that's something like known, or maybe that's after tax deduction. We'll ask about that later. Here we get to some great social proof. Do I feel like that is that a little low on the page? Maybe here we could throw one member testimonial in. It's pretty far down. And then they have more reviews. So super neat. This is cool. I wonder if this is like a drop-in or did they recreate this? That it connects your TI. Yeah, maybe this is a widget that just connects to like your Google My Business listing and pulls those ratings in.
That's
and then
cool.
I'm at the bottom of the page now. So I don't have like a reminder of like a join. Maybe one more call out at the bottom. You can use content visibility to hide it from logged in members. Maybe just one more call out there for sign up. So the last thing on the page is to view all the reviews. If this person got here and was convinced by these reviews, then they're going back up here. So it would be maybe more natural for them to navigate the site to just scroll a little further and see another join link. Does someone have a question? Is it about the tax deductions?
No, Robert is saying that if we're short on time, check out membership level page and 3 options because that explains the tax deduction.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But
So
I'm
this is
also open
membership
for
level
going
space?
as long as we want to go.
Yeah, we have 3 more after this, so hang with us. We're gonna bookmark all of the after this gets done. Christy usually is the one that will bookmark points and things talked about within the event. You can jump to just your session and rewatch it later, so you'll have those. I don't know what we call it, timeline. What do we call it, Sam? In this video, what chapters marked for you. So this is this join page. Re-echoes the features. And then here's the deals. I might say move this up further because we're already kind of convinced about the joining, but maybe that's an A/B test. And by A/B test, sometimes people think they need to put these like robust tools in, but you can also just swap it for a fixed period of time, swap it back for another period of time. I love this, the appearance of this kind of highlighted testimonial. You could use this same format on the homepage, just have some higher up on the page social proof in your thing. Best deal. We talked about that previously, having one of your plans highlighted if you can, and why that's the best deal. So let's look at this. Annual, biannual, and a 1-year membership. Billed annually. Twice per year. Billed annually. And then they highlight, even here, you can see like discounted rate. Nope, you're not getting a discount. You only get the discount in our annual subscription on recurring basis, billed annually.
Robert is asking.
Oh, here's the tax deduction. Okay.
Yeah, most small landlords are very frugal, so we try to position membership as low as possible by using the after-tax deduction amount. Think it's too confusing.
I just feel a little confused about it because I'm also not in Canada, so I know with like the United States, I can deduct things I buy for my business. Is that what this is? Is this just like you're a business and when you do your taxes, you deduct expenses? I was just assuming it was a tax deductible expense like a nonprofit in the US, which there must be an equivalent to nonprofit in Canada, like almost like it was a donation. Because associations do often operate as nonprofits, but this is rather just it's tax deductible because it's an expense that your business incurs. So maybe I'm just confused. You could maybe ask a few people in your membership, like, was that great and helpful, or did it confuse you? I got hung up on it because I didn't know if it was. I thought I was signing up for a membership, but it read to me like, is this actually a donation? Is this a recurring donation? I don't know. Anyone else feeling either way about that? In a kind way, tell us what you think.
I don't know. For me, it can get kind of confusing because, like, I don't have a business, but with like personal taxes for me in the U.S., you can itemize things, but because I'm not like a homeowner or anything like that, itemizing doesn't make sense for me, and so I actually end up having to typically pay more money to stay with the standard deductions rather than itemizing. So I don't know in Canada, but that could be an issue if they're not set up as a business and it's like their own real estate that they're kind of renting out without a business, which I don't know why you would do that, but because there's liability issues there that you could kind of get in trouble for, but I don't know. It's interesting. Maybe that's something that like you can put the regular pricing there, but then also put as a benefit that you can tax deduct it. And it would then give more information on how to tax deduct it after they're in the door.
Yeah, I think this says 170 billed annually, but 920 is not. 920 times 12 is 110.40. Yeah, maybe it's just a little too clever. I don't know. but don't change it. Leave it and see how it's perceived by people. Did
I
anyone
would
ever come
definitely
back
talk
to you and
to
say like,
landlords that are you
this
members.
doesn't make sense? It should be $60 billed biannually, $10. You'd be like, oh, it's 60, right? Why is it $92.50? Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm a little confused by it, but also I've been talking for an hour and 20 minutes and I have a cold. So something with pricing pages for me that is good is when the names, the prices, and the buttons kind of all horizontally line up. This is an awesome website, a huge website. I'm in like nitty gritty. I'm trying to point out things that I didn't point out in other people's sites earlier. So we're always getting like different kinds of things to think about. Too much homework. You're all going home with too much homework. But it is helpful when comparing apples, oranges, and bananas that all of the names are in line together. The prices kind of line up together. So think about if that's not a problem with this, if anyone else isn't feeling it, but maybe we can like make best deal shift outside of the pale green box or just scooch it up higher. And then we can have our 3 plan names in visually horizontal of each other. That would probably make our prices more horizontally lined up, or our prices could go above the short description of our memberships here. Just think about that. But the buttons relatively line up. It just looks like maybe there's a padding shift when we hover that's getting them. Let me make me wider.
The other thing I like
It was
to
just
do
my
and see
way.
on pricing pages is the best deal being in the middle, because my eye is going to be drawn into the center. And so regardless of whether it's like out of order of pricing or anything, but if I have that best deal or the most popular right front and center, that's going to probably catch my eye more so than it being to the left or to the right.
Yeah. Even though we think like, oh, they're looking left to right, there is something about the middle. You'll often see best deal is in the middle. If you go to like a SaaS website or like Trello or anything that you sign up for. Checkout page in this one, I think this is another one would benefit maybe just slightly narrower. It just like, it makes the form not feel so long. Like most people's usernames are going to be like, you know, how many characters. So it's not like necessary that we have that width of space. That would just be shrinking the container's width. Does this one use, I forget. I know we've talked so many times. Are you using a page builder? Yeah, this is one also, Elementor. Our data shows like over 50, oh no, it's Divi. Sorry, this is Divi. ET got me. I was like, Elementor template. No, Divi. Yeah, Divi and Elementor are the biggest market share for sure. And some people passionately love one, some people passionately love the other. We use the block editor in here at Paid Memberships Pro, but I think they're trying to do the same thing for Divi that they did for Elementor that we talked about
We're
earlier.
trying to standardize all of our compatibilities with page builders to be the same. It might just be a slow roll.
Per checkout field first. Are you using the add name to checkout add-on? I think that got an update. See if it's out of date. It should carry the same appearance for your form. I'm curious why these look different. And this has a phone number formatter. It doesn't, like we talked about earlier, why do you need my phone number? Maybe it's obvious to people, but it's also not a required field, which I think, here's a why do we ask this? That's a good way to have that phone number thing labeled. And these are required, not all of them are. So I love that you're qualifying the required field with the why we're asking, and some additional context to us. It's a long form. It's a lot of information. Sometimes it has to be that way for an association. I don't know if this is approval based or if it's just hard. You're not going to always get people to complete profiles after the fact. But it's always something I challenge people to say, are any of these form fields absolutely required? And can we ask these questions later? Can we follow up with something like this in a personal email? Hi, I'm Kim. I'm the current director of the Quinte Landlords Association. So glad to have you here. It's a huge website. We have tons of content. What's the one thing I can point you to? What are you trying to get out of this? We're always building more content, blah, blah, blah. So I wonder if reducing fields at checkout, they do say, is something that can improve conversions. If someone got this far and then they were like, okay, I Googled you. Okay, now why did I join? What do you like? Yeah. And then they just like, I don't have time for this. I'll come back later. And then they might not come back. So that's a good reason to think about intentionally how much is required at your checkout experience. Yeah. There's so much else in this site. I know you're starting to do video stuff.
They're doing a lot.
Yeah. I haven't really browsed this website in depth. Maybe I have, and it just looks so much better and fuller now. But you see, we were talking about that. There's like this dual need. They do participate in greater efforts outside of just converting members. So there's a lot, and it's hard. Association is a hard space to be, for sure. But I think this one's going well, and I think, yeah, it's only going to keep growing. So anything that we didn't look at that you'd like to look at?
There are no current comments.
Okay. Great site. I like green. All right. This one is Asian Cupid. And Sam assured me there was nothing. I know dating websites are unique and we don't often pull them up because we were like, oh no, are we allowed to show this? But there's all types of sites that use Payments Pro. No one submitted before that we were like, we absolutely cannot show this on the internet. So I'll bring this one up. It's like a very unique form of a dating site. We have all types of dating sites that use Paid Memberships Pro, and they can be challenged because there's like such big dating sites out there, but they're not niche. So this one has like a very specific type of people that they're hoping to create connections for. So it's not anyone with anyone. It's like, this is more specific. So I think that's cool, and I hope that it's successful for you in this site. I think the main things we wanted to point out on this one was that this is like super hard to see this link up here. So does it have to be in a black background, or can the text be a color that's more visible? Or are you trying not to have people email you? Just get rid of it. You do have a contact page, so I don't know how much value you're going to get out of like a direct mail to. Like, people already know there's a contact way. So think about that. Think about whether you just can eliminate that banner at the top. Doesn't seem like there's anything else in it. If we get ourselves a login and a join over here, would be great. It kind of isolates it from the other menu items, which would just be more like informational, I'm guessing. I don't know if this home is necessary here, but very cute. Look at this get started button here. Think about whether this could be like a just bright blue with black text on it. Something that stands out a little bit more, because I think this is kind of blending in too much in the background of the site, but very focused. This is what we do. Images of people that we can help and that we serve, and then a direct way to register and join. Does that go to a different page than this? So membership goes to a page with more like about membership type thing. And the sign up pages go to like a pre-ask like question. So we do this first, and then we continue to check out, and then there are required fields. So yeah, I don't really know what this is. Is this like a widget maybe? Members, no members found. Newest, active. I'm sure it's not showing me because of if they're a BB Press or a Buddy Boss site, it's probably, yeah, BP Core. So Buddy Press or Buddy Boss being used on this site. Here's some social proof. Could we get a headshot of someone here? It just shows up better that this is what this really is for. And maybe flush out this footer a little more. Always give me a call back at the bottom of the page to my sign up and join page. Yeah. Cute. People who run the site. I hope that's you, Charles and Valerie, right on the homepage there, and an actual location. So you guys have like physical space. So cool. All right. We have 2 more, guys. Who's dropping off? Who's staying with us? Is it only our team?
No, I mean, it could be only our team with the number of people who are watching. But we're doing pretty good. And okay, this is going to stay on YouTube, so you can always go back and watch it.
That's right. I have been to the Hudson Valley region of New York. It's beautiful. We did a tour of all like the painters in the area and all like
this
the
person
homes.
is here, by the way.
Yeah, we did a tour of like the homes. It was really cool area. So this one's a challenge, a dark black background website and an inverted color scheme. Such a challenge, but I love that it fits the vibe of the type of site. It's space. You know, if it was like a bright white site, it might not fit the vibe as much. So I think choosing the black background, just challenging for accessibility. But that's what it is. We got our join and our login where we love them. And then they also have like a donation feature. I'll click through that later. And it's very clear what this is: logo, who we are, learn about us. So this is not a homepage driven toward membership signups. This is driven toward who are we, what do we do? Imagining that if we get to the about page, there's some way to join. No, it's just going to be contacting us. Okay. And the join is always going to be right here. I'm confused because I want to go over here and click a menu item, but I know a lot of sites do have that centered logo. So it's not an uncommon thing. I just wonder if the logo itself, the anchor to get the menu item to get back to the homepage, if that text could stand out slightly more, or maybe there's a purposeful reason that it's all just blended in. But I do go back to like the home, they have a home icon here, but even if this could just stand out slightly more, it might help me locating it. So it looks like they have a meetup. I wonder how membership and attending meetups are connected. If you're here and you could comment on that. Sometimes people started on Meetup and then they went to like membership site model. Meetup's great because it's such a easy way to create events, share, and it shares events for you. It does all the signups and stuff. I wonder, maybe you're not that strict with, you're a member, you can come to the events and it's not a problem. Maybe they're not private events, or you do some other types of events in person here. So it doesn't look like this homepage really. Oh, here's this is like the one like call out to joining right here. And that might not be your goal as an association, getting people to join. It might be just more like having our events and all that stuff. But think about maybe adding a more prominent joining us type thing. Maybe even here, try it. If you are like, no, we want more members, we want to join. Also, some associations, like especially regional, that might be like the total volume of people that they ever thought was possible to get in their group. Like we have another that like Antique Radios, a membership site. And the number of people in a small region, Hudson Valley is not a small region, that can have an interest in something. You're not going to have 1,000, 5,000 members if you have a niche focus. You might have 1,000 members. But it's just, maybe that's not the focus. And I don't want to put it all back on that. I'm sure that this is not going to, go ahead.
Steve did add, our Meetup members are just followers, but we don't use Meetup for actual membership payment, just RSVP and event planning. They offer 99% of their services free to the public. Nice. And outreach is primary, paid members is secondary.
Gotcha. Good. Okay. Then you're doing it all right. Because I'm just like, conversions. And you're like, no. You're like, we would like to go to schools and tell them about astronomy. We want to inspire a new generation of amateur astronomists, and we don't want to put money in the way of that, which is great. Yeah, I will eventually put this through an accessibility checker, just because we're going to see how hard the challenges of the dark background that they create. I think overall all your fonts could be larger. I don't know what size monitor you use. I'm on a laptop. I think if I looked at this on like my husband's 40-inch monitor or whatever he uses, it would be like a strange experience. We didn't do that on any of the sites, Sam. The like.
Oh yeah, where you can like change the view.
I think it's like something I learned early on as a web designer. Like go to someone else's screen and look at your website on their screen, and then you're like, oh, okay. So this website, I think all of your fonts could be 4 points larger than they are. Just even, let's try it. We might make it look really scary. Locally on my computer only. If everything's built off of, it might not be though. Let's see. That's not going to affect anything. I was wondering if I could just. Oh, I really screwed it up. Hold on. They're slightly bigger. Okay, here we can see it slightly bigger. That doesn't feel too big, right? Like, I think just even that much, it will put it back to what it was, but just make that text a little bigger. It'll just make everything a little more easier to read, especially because of the accessibility stuff that you see with these colors. So yeah, what page do you want us to look? Let's look at the join page only because this is a membership. I think we could stick a button on here. Membership dues, how it works. Where do we actually sign up though?
It's actually a form that you print out or mail. It's actually they're not using the PM Pro field, but they are using the PM Pro login. Yeah.
Oh, this one says it doesn't exist. Just check that link. There must be a printable form and an online form. Did you get to the printable, Sam?
I did not click the link, no.
Okay.
I just saw that was the way you do it.
Yeah. So think about that.
We have a real join page as well, but my treasurer prefers this at the moment. We'll be switching over soon.
Oh, good. That's hard. Are you the person tasked with building the website in the team? That's the seat that can be hard. We do hear from some people. They're like, I want to make this change, and I'm, working on the rest of the people to get them to adopt it and be ready for that. That can be hard.
Yeah, that was my seat for my quilting guild, and they did switch over to the PM Pro checkout fields versus using a paper form, but it did take like a little bit of teeth pulling. But we got it.
You can pull teeth when you need to. We're going to do this and we're going to say, oh, it's not that bad. All right. Which contrast errors? So it doesn't mind the size of this text. I am shocked. Are you shocked, Sam?
I am shocked because, I know that I'm looking at the sharing of your screen, but it's really hard for me to read on that. So I'm actually really shocked that that passes. I think if they were bigger, that it would be easier to read, like Kim was showing.
Yeah. Just like a little bit easier to read, but it's not failing. The only ones that are failing are these social links, which are not critical, and then the gray of this text. So I'm shocked. I'm gonna pack my bags and go home. Yeah, the only other things that some empty, I don't know. It's not really an empty link because we're here, but good. Yeah.
What about the donate button?
Come back and come to an event. It was not inaccessible. It's just the gray. Yeah.
I wonder, Steve, are you using the donation add-on that we have, or are you using something else?
Looks like it just goes to like a PayPal page. Yeah. So most of the Paintbrushes Pro here is all behind the scenes. Are you creating accounts manually for people? It's kind of in this like in limbo, right? There's private stuff if you're logged in to your member area, but I'm guessing you're having to manually create people. Yeah. Well, I hope you get everyone on board to fully membership siteize everything and all the processes. You can still offer offline payment methods. We have like our pay by check payment gateway as like an offline payment method. If you don't want everything to go through a Stripe or a PayPal, especially associations where membership is such a low cost. Like that's not a small amount of money if you're giving up 3% to a credit card company when you're all local, you meet at events, Joe can bring the check in the envelope when he comes. So I will just say that associations that took their offline process to an online process, they'll often see like a booming growth because a certain population of people love the offline payment and the mail and fill out a form. A certain population would never do that. They'd be like, oh no, I don't have a checkbook and I'm not able and interested to go through writing something down on paper because I don't even own a pen. So they have seen like membership growth as a result of, I don't know, has the Quilting Guild seen any growth, Sam? I don't know.
They have. I've stopped going to meetings just because gossip is not my thing, but
quilting gossip.
I am still a member. I don't like the gossip.
Is there a show on Netflix
but they
about
have
quilting
grown
now? feel like
Okay, so there is a show called Quilters, and it's actually really good. My mom and I watched it. I was disappointed that it was only 30 minutes long, but it's actually male quilters that are incarcerated in a
oh my
prison in
goodness.
Missouri, and
Wow.
how quilting has like helped rehabilitate who they are as people.
Oh,
And I love that. It was
that's something.
I want to send them fabric.
Yeah,
Low key, my
I
mom and
love
I have
that.
a life plan of how do we get incarcerated in Missouri so we can just quilt for 12 hours a day and get
Yeah.
3 meals and, roof over our head. Um,
Don't, Sam. You're funny. I don't know. I don't know if that should be your goal, but okay. You said it here now. You have to do it. So, last site. This is a
Certainly
cool
not
site.
least.
Not least. This is a site about genealogy, telling your family's story. So many people get into genealogy. Your kids are in kindergarten and they come home with the family tree project, which is, I think, a controversial project for some families, but it forces you as an adult to say, like, let's look into this. And some people get very into genealogy, which is really cool.
My
So
family
this is,
did. We had a
yeah.
whole I did it for a school project, but we actually like held on to it forever. We had a trifold presentation board of our
Oh, wow.
entire family tree. We actually was able to trace my dad's family and my mom's family back to settle England, and at that time it was literally like 6 houses, and they were all family. They were all related. So like we joke that my mom and dad are very, very, very distant cousins.
Oh, no.
But we
Oh, wow.
learned that we're also related to Captain Kidd.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and Polish royalty.
Yes, you are.
So yeah,
You
like
can't go to prison and be a quilter. You're royalty.
I'm a Polish princess.
Oh. So this has a lot of different things. They have media that they deliver. They have merchandise that they sell. They're developing courses focused on genealogy. So I don't know if membership was the first thing that they did. Maybe the podcast was the first thing. I'd be curious to know the origin of how this business evolved, right? Because it's pretty classic that people add membership at a certain point when their audience on other social channels has reached this like critical mass, right? Like our the one that does those couponing. No, what is it? It's like deals, right? We talked to her. She does like sweepstakes or something, right? What do they call them in England? Do you
Oh,
remember
I know
her?
what you're
Die had like just like a very vibrant following on social media and was like, I'm going to start a membership, and launched and had this huge audience of people to start filling the membership with, and had far more turnout for signups than anticipated would, and is just super happy with the result of things. So I'd be curious if this one
very
began
unique
as,
site that she has.
yeah, if this began as like, we create content, like we have this really long-standing YouTube channel, we have this podcast that we do, it's time to add membership, it's time to add e-learning to it, which is a very natural next step for people that want to monetize their community and want to do it on a platform that they own and manage for their site. So I don't know how much this one's driven towards signups. Let's see. Didn't take this get started button's not taking me anywhere. I don't know why. Sam, does yours? It looks like it's linking to like a anchor on the page, but it's not going anywhere. So maybe give this a look if you watch this back. Help us see what Get Started is taking us to. It's trying to take us back to like the top of the page. They offer something kind of free consultation. This is really hard to see green. I wonder if that's going to pass accessibility, but I've been wrong today.
It's just anchored to the top.
Yeah, it's anchored to the top, huh? So it sounds like they collaborate with you. That goes to the top also. Okay. Something at the top that we're missing. Consultation goes to a bookings page. I'm trying to just find, this was the one thing we were curious about, why they've chosen all of the interstitials on the site, like go through nope, I can't get there. See this like animation that plays? It seems to be between every page load. So I'm just curious why they did that. Why was that put in place? Did they choose that? Was it a developer's suggestion? What's the rationale of that? some pages are just not going where they belong. I don't know why. Maybe it's just bad timing. Everyone on this stream, all 10 of us are hitting the site simultaneously. But they have an active blog. I'm trying to get to like a membership thing. Here we go. This is a login. Now let's get to a join. So here's the membership levels. Is there another way that we could have gotten here from this menu?
I don't think so. I think that was one
No,
thing
okay.
when I noticed in the site, that it was kind of hard to get to this levels page.
And maybe that's like we were talking about. This was like a largely like informational website, tons of value, free content, free articles, watch our videos, listen to our podcast. And now they're like, you know what? We are launching a membership. So this pricing page here, I think we could ditch the sidebar. We don't need it. And then these would have more breathing room to space out. This looks tiered, so you're getting more benefits. So if we could keep these all side by side, I think they'd help. I think you can fit 4. We have 4 on our website side by side. And they offer to bill annually or monthly. So they're offering payment plans. And I don't know if it's actually our payment plans. This is custom built with, they're using the block editor. They're not using another page builder here. They just built their levels page, which you can totally do. Most people generate their pages when they're setting up Paid Memberships Pro through the wizard and just put that levels shortcode on there. And they're like, I guess that's what it looks like. We have so many blog posts, videos that we've done that show you ways to take that default shortcode out, replace it with either custom built like this one, your page builder of choices, pricing table like we saw on that Triips site. They were using that Elements kit, drop-in widget, and having that toggle, or even our advanced levels page has its own unique shortcode and block to get it a little more fancy looking. So in this case, building it manually, all that means is that whether you're with the block editor or an Elementor type thing, if you change pricing, you just have to come back and edit this page. If you're using our shortcode or our advanced levels page, it'll stay in sync with the actual pricing of the levels. So different tiers. Let's get us to a checkout page if we can. No, I can't get to a checkout page either. Let's see. They just aren't linked for some reason. So probably still in progress. Maybe this is being built. Why can't I get to like any? Let's try to do this. Checkout. Watch Kim hack your site. No, I can't get to a checkout page either. So yeah, probably still in progress. We'll do a follow-up. Where are you now in a year and see. But I imagine with the quantity of other content that they have, and this isn't connecting either. Something funny is going on. It could be my local. Maybe I've been poking around the site too quickly. Jim, you went and ate lunch and came back in all this time? Nice.
And we're still here.
We're still here. Yeah. I don't know, but that's cool. Good sites that we saw today. I think this one's going to be great. It just needs some, either it's something at the host level that's being funny, or we don't know what. But yeah, look at this person. Family historian.
Canine Striker says, will there be more of these? And where do you submit your site for a live review? That's a great question. And for the people who are still watching, quick poll. I have 1 open office hours slot left for Q3 at the end of whatever the last month is in Q3. September? Yeah. Okay, so your options are an event on cookie consent, another Smash Your Site,
Cookies?
or an Ask Me Anything. Let me know.
Goodness. They're all fun.
Whatever you guys say right here, majority vote right now. That is what happens at the end of September. So that will determine.
And we don't advertise it, but our plus, all of our paid tiers, right, Sam?
Yeah.
Standard and plus.
Depends on what
a
you're
few
gonna
weeks
say next.
after, what?
Depends
on what I'm saying next. We do site success checks. So
yes,
if you missed Smash Your Site and you are a paid member, reach out on our contact form and say, like, can someone give me a little advice on my site? It's something that you get an automated email like 3 weeks after sign up.
3 or 4 weeks after sign up.
Auntie's gonna say, Kim, why did you tell people they could ask for these? They're time consuming. But we have like a checklist of the things that I talked about today that really, they're mostly straightforward changes, but I think they can have big impact, and people have reported that they have big impact for their sites. So I love that. I love that.
All right, so we have 2 votes for smashing the sites. We have 2 votes for an Ask Me Anything. Ryan said smash, but in Q4. So I have not planned Q4 yet. So there's 6 more events in Q4 that we could go for as well.
We'll follow up in the community. We can do.
I will also ask in the community.
I'm losing my voice.
Well. I'll ask in the community so we can get some feedback there. But
we need someone to smash our site.
That would be fun. Who wants to come on live and smash the PM Pro site?
I'll just be crying in the corner. No.
Can someone smash my documentation? Please don't. I take too much pride in that. I might actually cry.
No one would ever. No one would ever. No.
With
it's
that,
hard. All these sites were too good. If they keep getting better every time, we're not going to do the same one. We're going to call it like a beautiful showcase your site. That's what we're going to call it. Where Kim fawns over your site for 15 minutes.
That would be fun. So typically we have an event next week, but we're going to Banana Ball. So there is no Coding with Sam next week. Sam's going to go to not a baseball game. We're going to go to a Banana Ball game.
Banana Ball. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's very fun.
It's the Savannah Bananas. They're so much fun. They actually have 4 teams now, but we're going to see the Savannah Bananas versus the Party Animals. And yeah, that's going to be a great time. So we'll be back on June 26th for Kim to dive into member email integration. That's what we're doing. Yes. Email integration with PM Pro. And then on the 27th, it'll be a back-to-back live day. The 27th, we will be back with Coding with Sam. If you are not in the community, I strongly recommend joining our Slack community. I'll post a link for you as well.
Maybe we'll post our exclusive Banana Ball nugget shirt. There
will be banana photos in the community. Because there are other members who are excited, like Aaron Director. Cool. He has the Portland Pickles on the other side of the world from us. Yeah. So he's excited about our Banana Ball trip as well. So we will show some behind the scenes of the team going out and doing that thing. But to find out what Sam is coding a day prior to going live, that is exclusive in our Slack community. We also have exclusive community events where we do a Google Meetup twice a month, both 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, to hopefully cater as many time zones as possible. And then
not at 1 in the morning.
No,
we have 1 in the morning, but it's not at 1 in the morning.
A meetup in the morning and a meetup in the afternoon. Yes. The times are in the Slack community.
Yes.
And we used to do the async AMA in the Slack community, but I am actually going to be trying instead doing a hot tip and asking a question. That way we can try to get a little bit more engagement.
Yeah. I mean, people join the community, ask the question right away, and then we don't hear from them. So community works when we're all like sharing the same pains, which we all are. We're all building membership sites. And then when we can like give each other support or advice or clarification, it doesn't have to be about a bug you're facing with PayMerchants Pro. It can be like, I'm struggling with this decision to take away my monthly plan. I want to put everyone on annual. What have you guys got to say about it? Oh, Harold looked it up. He got all the names.
Yeah. The firefighters and the tailgaters are new. They just launched them. And if you have subscriptions to like Disney Plus or ESPN, you can. There's let's see. They did 10 games. I think we're down to probably like 5 more games that are going to be live on those. And then they're also on YouTube Live that you can watch them too.
So cool.
It's really fun. I'm excited.
Thank you all. This was a very long stream. We didn't expect it, but the sites were too good not to play around with as much as we did today. I'm going to go drink some hot tea and rest my voice.
Yes. And then you're going to pack your bags.
Yes. There you go. Goodness gracious. I do need to do that. Thank you all for tuning in. We will see you in 2 weeks from now, right?
Yeah.
No. Yep. Yeah. Okay.
June
awesome.
26th.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.